fucking makes you happy. Because you know that you got fucking perfect coals. You should just put that on for like 5 minutes.
Like that?
Yeah. Just put it on for like 5 minutes, see who turns it off. Hey, I'm Dave from Burn Ends. Welcome to the Burn Ends kitchen. This is our setup. We got a 4-ton dual cavity wood burning oven, and we got some elevation grills, and we've got some fucking banging steak. So this has been dry aged for about 60 days, and we coat it in smoked beef fat, and then we just leave it up in a cool room with a big fan on it for 60 days. So we're gonna crack it open for the first time today. Let's have a look at it, eh?
How can someone do that shit at home? Like if someone wanted to do dry age or beef fat at home?
So the beef fat's really easy. When you get a whole rack of ribs in, you trim off all the fat off the top, put it in a pot with some water, render it down, so basically just boil the shit out of it, and then you strain it off, make sure there's no water, so you put it back in a pot, reduce it down a little bit, and you'll end up with just perfect solid beef fat. You let that cool, and then when you get your OP rib, you let it dry overnight, and you wrap it in the beef fat, and away you go. The best setup that you can have, you obviously can't do it in your fridge at home. You need to get a separate fridge, put a little computer fan in it so you get really good air circulation, and you set the temp to about 0 to 2 degrees. The less you look in there, the less you touch in there, the less moisture gets in there, and the better your beef will be. Blood Wagyu out of Victoria. Blackmore's absolutely fucking stunning. Dave Blackmore was the first guy to import the Wagyu genetics into Australia. So we've just got the beef. We're just going to clean up all this extra fat off the outside. So when you get up here, typically on a regular dry aged steak, that'll be really dark, really hard. Coating in beef fat, you protect the outside from the drying out of it. And this is fucking gonna be absolutely stunning to get on the grill.
It's not my fault. You've been lying, saying that I took away your peace. Drowning by yourself, now you wanna blame me.
We're a little bit different to other people in other restaurants. I can't do this. I don't fucking know what all this shit means. Medium rare, fucking whatever, right? And I also don't believe that every steak has the same texture, especially between grass-fed, grain-fed, hanging tender, onglet, fucking strip loin, cube roll, ribeye, fucking you name it, which cut produces which texture. Man, I'm not a genius and I don't fucking know. So we use one of these fucking babies. It gives you exactly what you want to know. So I just want to highlight an important difference in our cooking and some of the things we look at. We look at the outside temperature, so just right on the surface of the skin. We want to know what the temperature is when we cook. So this is sitting at just 11 degrees, so it's not too bad. And then we'll take an inside temperature, which is about 8 degrees. So we're just over 4 degrees in difference between the inside and the outside.
So how far down?
To the middle. I've actually got a fucking sweet spot. So it's really funny. You can cook this fucking steak however you want. You can test it wherever you want. This will always be hotter. This in here, always, no matter how many fucking times I do it, this spot is always the fucking coldest when you cook a steak. And it's like your key thing when you're cooking steak is that everyone judges you on the most undercooked part. So you make sure that bit's fucking perfect, and you have happy customers. So one of the really interesting things that I find with fire is like we've got these big fucking grill bars, right, that are just metal. Metal's a really good conductor of heat. So when you first put the coals on, the metal, like metal's cold to touch. So when you put the coals on, which are fucking sitting at just under 600 degrees Celsius, it actually sucks all the heat and energy out of your coals, and it absorbs into the bars. So you actually need to let it sit there for about 4 or 5 minutes to acclimatise, let the bars warm up, and then the bars start giving back their energy. So you're not just looking at the coals pushing energy into the bars have heated to a point where they're happy to give energy back to the coals, and you have a really good balance between the heat in the bars and the heat in the coals, and they produce and work well together. You will have seen if you watched it, it's sort of like dropped a little bit in terms of intensity, and then over the next couple of minutes it'll actually pick up again, and we can load a few more coals on to add a little bit more energy to it, and it'll just fucking roar into life.
I knew you lost your mind when you dropped that bomb. Girl, are you crazy? Yeah, you must be crazy. I've been thinking lately it's you.
As it goes on the grill, the outside comes up and maybe sit around 50, between 45 and 60 degrees. And the inside's gonna stay fucking stone cold at 8 degrees. When we take it off, and with a little bit of a rest, the outside's gonna come down, but the inside's gonna come up, right? So once we've got a nice balance there, we're gonna put it back on the grill. We're gonna put the outside on, comes up again, and then we're gonna take it off, and the inside comes up and the outside goes down. And we're gonna follow that routine all the way until we have that steak up at 50 degrees the whole fucking way. Take time. The problem with this and cooking at home is patience and diligence. I've tried to teach my dad this, and he fucking fails every time. He's like, I might just go get a glass of wine, walks in, fucking grabs a glass of wine, fucking comes back out, fucking steak's gone stone cold, puts it on again, it goes back up to 15 degrees, and it takes him like 3 hours to cook it. Doesn't fucking work. You gotta stand there with your glass of wine, you gotta watch the inside, you gotta watch the outside, and you gotta fucking keep it going. If you don't do it, you may as well just bung it in the microwave and fucking be done. So, as you can see, we've got some nice fucking smoking hot bars, and I think the time is now to start cooking. For me, I don't see any value in salt before, because all that salt is going to do is draw out moisture, right? The one thing people complain about with an overcooked steak is it's what? Fucking dry. So why the fuck do you want to pull out moisture from your steak before you even start cooking? The other thing that we've found when we cook steaks is that if you add salt, it actually retards the Maillard effect, which basically means that when you add salt to it, the colouring of the steak is actually harder. So we might, if our steak's getting too much colour on it, what we'll actually look at doing is putting salt on it just to stop the colouring effect. I reckon one of the things you guys are probably thinking at home is, I don't have one of those fucking barbecues, I don't have those fucking elevation grills. If you are wondering how you might do it at home, we've done fucking hundreds of events everywhere, cooked on every type of barbecue you can imagine. From Weber's to Big Green Eggs to Komodos to the fucking half oil drum that's been gutted out. Anything is possible, you just got to use a little bit of imagination. You want to run a double setup, a little bit like what we've got here. So you want to have one that produces your coals, and then you want to have one that you cook on. So you produce all your fire and your coals in one, and then you transfer your coals and your fire and manage the heat in the one that you actually want to cook on, right? So you build your big fire pit, you set it up in the one that you're going to cook on, you let it acclimatise, balance out the heat a little bit, start producing, And in the meantime, you can continue to add wood to that one so that you can cook for this hour and a half over, as you see, still a perfect heat, right? You've probably seen that our grill is constantly going up and down, avoiding flame, dropping it down, etc, etc. You got beer cans at home, and if you don't, you should, or you got bricks. So either take a beer can or a brick and level up your grill. So I probably didn't do this very well, but let me figure out how we can do this. Pretend these are your beer cans or your bricks. Put them on either corner of your grill, like this. Drop your grill plate on top. And that way you've just given yourself that extra little bit of height. You won't get the burn, you won't get the char. When you need it hotter again, you got to take off your bricks. If you want it higher, you can double up the bricks and you get it even higher. So it just depends on what your setup is, what you're comfortable with, and what's going to give you the best results. We've just had it on the grills. The outside is only 24 degrees. Our magic spot is 11 degrees. Sealing doesn't mean shit. What you're actually looking for is the Maillard effect, which is the caramelization of the sugars on the outside of the product. In this case, the beef. We know that we're going to cook this for an hour, hour and a half, so that our first grill doesn't have to be the magic grill. It's the subsequent grills over time that we know we're going to get that fucking char that we really fucking want.
I'ma make you mine tonight, pulling your hair, baby. I feel you breathing on me, on you. You know that I'm a selfish lover. When it's mine, I want it.
1 hour later.
So I guess the other important thing is, and the thing that I really struggle with, and I'm struggling with right fucking now, is all I want to do is cut and eat the fucking steak. But I know that the steak is going to be a whole lot fucking better if I just wait.
One track mind for it, for you. I don't think I can let you go. I don't think I can let you go. Bet you love me before I go. Bet you love me before I go. I don't think I can let you go. I don't think I can let you go. Bet you love me before I go. Bet you love me before I go. Tell me what you want. Tell me what you need, baby. Tell me about your dreams, tell me everything, yeah. Do it, I'll do it, I'll do it. I'll do it, I'll do it, I'll do it.
Thanks for watching, and tune in next time for something else on the barbie. Probably not a shrimp.